Hi guys and welcome to Crazy Burger. So it's finally arrived, the final firmware update for the original Evercade console. Now that could be either the black one, the white one or the purple one. It seems like it's been almost maybe over a year since we've had a firmware update and there's a lot of fixes required. Hopefully they've captured them all. So what I'm going to do in this video is go through all the changes that they've made and have a look at it. And we'll see what's happening. Anyway guys, without further ado, let's get started with the video. Okay guys, so let's have a look at the details then. So this is the final firmware update for the original Evercade Handheld, which is now out of production. It's obsolete, though you will probably still find it in some retailers on the high street, or you could probably order it from somewhere. But once it's gone, that'll be it gone. And happily there are some firmware updates, the final ones, to bring it a little bit up to date so you can play maybe some of the more recent cartridges on it. If you've not upgraded to a VS or an EXP, then you're probably missing out on a few things and a few new features that are on the new consoles and EXP. So there's a few sort of details here that have been added, like the coin limiter function, competitive arcade play, competition mode, game statistics, dynamic rate control to assist non-standard refresh rates. There's also an option to enable 50Hz mode as well that will play PAL mode. I guess that's probably most for the C64 games. Probably the most notable thing here that they've said here is that the Atari emulation has had a major overhaul. Personally, I didn't have any issues with it, but I guess there was obviously a lot of complaints for the guys that were in the know, I guess, that there was something wrong with some of the Atari games and the emulation wasn't quite right. So the only downside to this is that you will lose any saves for the Atari Collections 1 and 2 if you've got them. Probably won't be a major big deal, but some games that might be a pain to you. So if it is, you might want to think twice about upgrading. It's going to have to be a toss-up which one you prefer. Some games like Solaris, for example, I don't think I'd be too chuffed to sort of lose my save state if you'd put quite a lot of time into it. Anyway, I don't think there's many games that's really going to affect, but please bear that in mind if you're going to update the firmware, that you will lose save states for the Atari Collections 1 and 2. The also other things that are finally happening is updates to Roneo's Tale. Obviously that's finally adding the patch so that you can play the complete version rather than the maybe 80% version that was actually on the cart. Now previously you could only update this through the VS. If you've got the original handheld and that only, then you couldn't actually update it. So now you can. And also fixes some issues with Thunder Hoop as well. That had a few problems, if I recall. But it's been that long, I forget half the things that had went wrong and what needed updated. It goes into some details at the bottom. Let's have a look down a little bit more. So download it is pretty straightforward. It does say here that the Windows update is the only one that's currently available. So the Mac update and the Linux update will be available soon. So Mac is a few days, Linux in a few weeks, but yeah, we've been waiting that forever. So I guess a few weeks won't make any difference. So first thing to note, guess, is will the new carts actually work? So kind of a yes and no. So I guess up to a certain point the cartridges will work. But I guess you probably have to bear this in mind that any carts that get released after a certain point may not actually work on this handheld, and they are not going to do any further updates. Unless something is massively broken, then they won't do any further updates. You're either going to have to upgrade to a VS or an EXP, and that's my understanding of that, I guess. But most of the recent carts should be compatible once you update to 3.0, because I don't think Cathedral and Alwa's Awakening is currently compatible with the old firmware. And why are there no bonus games? I guess it's just due to size limits that they can't add any bonus games that you probably see on an EXP, for example. But anyway, will there be any other updates. So they've no planned further updates unless there's a massive compatibility issue, which could possibly arrive. So never say never. I think if something really serious happens, then they'll probably do a hotfix and issue a quick update. But as it stands, this is most likely going to be the final update to the original hardware. And if you have any more issues, contact support at Evercade.co.uk, fire them a question or give them some of the details of any issues that you've got. And some other issues. Here's some patch notes if you want to go into some of the information. Coin limiter, competition mode, blah blah blah. Obviously went through some of that. And they've added improved descriptions, fixed typos, updated control diagrams for a lot of these games. Not entirely sure what all of that entails, to be honest. It'd be nice to sort of get a little bit more information, because a lot of the things I'm not aware of. I guess if you've got a specific complaint, then you might be more aware than me. I'm only aware of some of the sort of basic stuff. Said they've improved performance and shader accuracy, scan lines, etc. Better game rendering, more crisp image and original display. That's probably quite cool. Because personally, I felt the firmware really, I don't know, it kind of went downhill a bit since 1.3. I think they were trying to update things and bring it into line with the Evercade VS, and I felt it seemed to break more things than it actually fixed. And it just got a little bit frustrating after that. So hopefully there's no further issues, but you know, it could still happen. There could be more issues. So here's all the details in the Atari 1 and 2 emulation. It will take 10 seconds on first boot to update if you stick one of these carts in, so bear that in mind. It fixes a whole load of stuff that they were probably not happy with. So they've fixed reset for some arcade games, fixed C64 save cross compatibility, not sure what that's all about, blah blah blah, lots of other kind of things. Now that's really it. What I'm going to do is go through the update process and show you how to do it if you've never done it before. It is pretty straightforward. Obviously it's not the EXP, you don't have Wi-Fi, so you have to actually download the file and connect your original hardware Evercade to your laptop or PC, whatever you're using. So yeah, let's go through that and we'll get it updated and we'll go through the information now. Okay, so you can go to the middle of this page that I was on. I'll leave the link in the description. Download the Evercade Handheld Updater here. It basically takes you to this same section here, which is under support. So if you're not sure, that's where to get it from. And it gives you some information of the minimum requirements required. And that's it. Basically, that's the install instructions. And follow that. Honestly, it's very, very straightforward. But I'll still go through it anyway. Download the WinInstaller. We'll start with that. Okay, once you've got your zip file, just double click it, open up, and then you'll see there's only one file there. So just double click that and it should run the file required. Okay, more info. So you don't want to click don't run. Click run anyway. Hopefully this is straightforward enough. Okay, that took forever to actually connect. Okay, so connect your Evercade to your PC. And what I'm going to do is just show a quick video insert of me actually doing this so you can see what I'm actually doing right now. Okay, so I've got my original handheld and this is the original cable that came with it. Just connect this to your laptop as so, and then follow the on-screen instructions as you see here. Just ignore that. Restart the update. Okay. Once you've got your Evercade actually connected to your laptop or PC, whatever you're using, press and hold the menu button and turn the device on as so. So press and hold that while turning it on. Otherwise you're just going to turn it on and it'll start charging the actual device. Okay, now that we've done that, it's initializing the device, checking firmware, and there we go, it's automatically installing for us. Doesn't seem to take too long, which is kind of cool. Update success, and that's it. Now you can go straight to your device. So you can see now it's the Evercade's actually booting back up automatically, and close that down. And now we can check through all the changes that's took place. Okay, we've got this unit updated. It takes maybe a minute or two to actually update. Also, it's been a while since I've had this old thing out. It's definitely seen better days. All these buttons have seen a lot of bashing. Okay, so the first thing I think we want to do is probably insert a cartridge. Probably the best one to try is Cathedral and see how that actually goes. So I'm going to try Cathedral and put this into the unit, see what happens. Should be compatible. There we go, we can now play. Let's see if we can jump to last save, see what happens. Sometimes that causes some issues. Oh. Don't judge me in this is the last boss, can't remember what I was doing. Yeah, I can see it seems to be working absolutely fine. This is in the original aspect ratio and it seems pretty good. No massive issues. Yeah, and that's how to die easy. Let's maybe jump out and try Cathedral now. Cathedral. Oh, it's not even got a last save option. Oh, that's because it's not got in-game saves, obviously. See, we've got an ellipsis point. We've got reset game stats. That's obviously a new addition that they've added, and all the stats down below we've got. Interesting. Play count 14, play time 8 hours and 6 minutes. That's quite cool. Some information there on the actual controls. Actually go back to Always Awakening. We've got competition mode, which you can select via this way. I've obviously removed that from the main screen, which is cool. Let's have a look at the stats here. Time played 1 hour 45 minutes. Now I know that's not true. So God knows what's happening there. That's definitely not 1 hour and 45 minutes. That's at least 5, 6, 7 hours or something. And I've had more than 11 plays at it. Load count, I'm not sure how accurate these stats are, to be honest. But anyway, that's what it is. There's some controls information there. I mean, that's the main things I can see. Let's have a quick bash at Cathedral, make sure it sort of loads okay. Let's put the sound up slightly. Oh, it's quite loud. Seems okay. Don't be alarmed at the music. There's no music in this section for some daft reason. But yeah, seems absolutely fine. Okay, so this is the Mega Cat Collection 2. Let's have a look at Roneo's Tale. Now, I have already updated this, so it probably won't work for me. But if you have this, you should maybe... It probably will try to update the cart, and it might take a little bit longer to get started. Mind, press start at this particular point, otherwise you will just be staring at that screen. So probably not the best person to actually test this because I've already done the update, but hopefully for you, if you've not done it yet, it should automatically kick in and the patch should be added, and then you'll get the full version of Roneo's Tale on your Evercade device. Actually curious to see what the stats say for that. Competition mode. Stats says time played 0 minutes, play count. See, I'm not sure how accurate that is. It's maybe only going to start kicking in for the best part when you're actually playing the games on the device itself. I'm not sure. I thought the details were held on the cart, but yeah, it doesn't seem to be overly accurate as yet. So yeah, I'm not sure about that at all. Now let's have a look through some of the details. Factory reset, control mode, sound, theme, display. I'm curious to know where this 50Hz and 60Hz mode is. Oh, dynamic rate control enabled. I guess that should be it. It does say something about added PAL 50Hz HDMI switch. I wonder if that only happens when you've got an HDMI switch, or when you're sort of connecting this to a TV and playing it as a TV mode instead. Yeah, maybe. Okay, so that seems okay, I guess, so far. Okay, I've added an arcade cart, so we can have a look maybe at the coin limiter idea. Let's have a look where it's actually located. I guess it must be in this part here. Yep, here it is. So, pretty simple. You can limit your coins up to 20. If that's something that you really want to do, fair enough. Personally, I couldn't care less. There's no way I'm going to limit coins in some of these games, especially in the hunt, because it is absolutely solid and you're not going to last long at all. So I don't really see any major issues, to be honest. Everything seems to be running fine. Interesting, the display settings. Oh, I've got that right there. But yeah, the display setting seems quite good. The original aspect ratio definitely seems a little bit sharper to me. I definitely thought there was issues after 1.3. It just never seemed quite right to me. Anyway, that seems pretty good. Okay, one thing that we still haven't had updated is the Asteroids Deluxe nonsense. It's still titled Asteroids Deluxe, and it still pretty much plays as original Asteroids. It's not Deluxe at all. Let's have a look anyway. Yeah, it's more or less still just original Asteroids by the looks of it. Anyway, never mind. Okay, the last thing I'm going to check here is the Atari Collection 1 and seeing what the process is of getting this updated to the latest emulation. Hopefully it's pretty straightforward. Okay, that's that started. It should take a little bit longer, I guess, to load each game. Let's have a quick look. You can see the difference with the viewing angles on this thing, and it certainly makes you appreciate the EXP a whole lot more. Yeah, don't really know what the differences are, to be honest, but yeah, I'm probably sure I've lost all my save states if I had any. Yeah, they're all gone. So yeah, keep that in mind, that you will lose save states. Let's quickly jump into another game. Let's see what else we got. I'm not really sure what the differences are, to be honest, and what the options are and what that all entails. Not totally clear. Guess we can choose through the different stages if you want to. I'm not sure if that was there before. Can't really remember. But I think if you really are an Atari nut, you might notice the changes more than me, but I don't really know, to be honest. Haven't got a clue. That screen really is awful, isn't it? But in real life it actually looks okay as long as you're looking sort of dead at it. But yeah, the viewing angles are certainly pretty poor. It makes you realise how good the EXP is after all. Okay guys, so just maybe before I finish up, is a question that you're asking yourself, do you have to update? Now, you probably don't. It depends what you're looking for. Do you want to play the latest carts? And you might come across issues with some of the newer ones that get released that won't be compatible if you don't actually update. So it really is up to yourself whether you update or not and what you're looking for. And personally, I think if you're not really bothered about the new carts and you're quite happy with it, just leave it as it is. If it's not broke, you know, why bother? But, you know, you probably are better updating. At the end of the day, if you want to keep up to date with the latest carts and stuff, then you'll most likely have to update anyway. And this certainly seems okay at the moment. I don't see any massive issues coming from the latest firmware update, so it seems to be pretty steady and pretty stable. Okay, so that's it basically, guys. I'm not really sure what else I'm supposed to be looking for. Some issues may arise, I guess, as you go. It's hard to say. Hopefully I've not lost any of the saves here. Oh, you've still got them, which is good. But yeah, it's hard to actually tell what the differences are. You might come across some issues if you're sort of going between the OG and the VS. It might happen, I don't know. But so far it seems alright. I don't see any major problems. But if you do come across any issues, drop me some comments or contact support at Evercade.co.uk and we can get them highlighted, I guess. But I think this final fix seems okay. Hopefully it fixes a lot of the things that you've been waiting for the past year to get sorted. Anyway guys, thanks very much for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.